13 loss to the Panthers. He completed 14 of 28 passes for 154 yards and 2 interceptions and a fumble before being taken out in the fourth quarter. In a statement released this morning, Ron Rivera thanked Haskins for his contributions to the team over the last 2 seasons and says he believes it will benefit both sides to go their separate ways.
You know what? If you just didn't know about anything other than watch him drop back and throw the ball, you would say that's a successful guy. He's big, he's strong, he can throw an accurate. He has a beautiful release. When he completes balls, you're like, oh, it's beautiful. He looks like a number 1 quarterback, but the concern out of Ohio State was always maturity. Even Urban Meyer came on this show and said he's not quite ready to be a franchise quarterback, but unfortunately in pro sports, you are, go. This is the Baker issue. This was the Johnny Manziel, where there's something there, but you're asking a 22-year-old to run a $5 billion franchise, and some guys are just not ready for it.
No, they're not. And I'm very pro player. I try to be gracious with people. I try to think, what was I doing at 22? Would I be capable of doing this? And the answer is no, but I also wasn't in a space of that level of responsibility at 22 either. And more, you have young athletes going through camps. They are working with people like Jordan Palmer. Like, you have a lot of mentors. The league has done a really great job with rookie symposiums, partnering guys with older vets to bring them into the league.
You can even prepare now for the Wonderlic. It used to be just you took it. Now you can prepare for, like, there's
prepare
really,
for everything.
Now, there's really, it's an academy. There's the football academy in America. So that you try to weed all this stuff out, so when you get the job, you're ready to go.
He's not a rookie. Last year, the selfie thing, it was ridiculous. I wasn't outraged by it. It takes a lot for me to get outraged. It was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is silliness, and it's not a good look. And you have to be aware of what's going on in the game. And to me, like, if you're not on a level where you're proven and you're a winner and what you do on the field cannot be questioned, you shouldn't even be paying attention to any of those other things. And I'm not going to be in the gym every single day. No. But when you're on the field, you should be aware of what's going on. Like, you can't be taking a selfie when the game is not over. And obviously, we know what happens. He goes to a party with his girlfriends, his girlfriend's birthday party, whatever. I don't care about the dancers or whatever. That has nothing to do with it.
Right.
In 2020, every single person on planet Earth is aware of what's going on and what the repercussions of being around other people are.
Yeah.
Now, if you're an NFL football player, it's a bit heightened because not everyone on planet Earth has been tested every single day and has to go through COVID protocols to walk through the door and has to come in on their off day to get tested and has to wear contact tracers. Everybody's not doing that. Yeah. So you can't be unaware of where you're supposed to be. It's too much. This is a franchise that is going through a lot behind the scenes. They cannot afford any other PR situations. Yeah. Ron Rivera is a no-nonsense guy. You're just not going to get this grace on top of the fact that you're not playing well.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Now, is he going to end up somewhere else? Maybe, but if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. He's had some chances.
Yeah, I mean, this is why why guys like me come out and are critical of Johnny Manziel and Baker or Jameis Winston about judgment. Because by the time you get to the NFL, they're not going to be patient. Like, literally, they almost cut him before the game Sunday. Peter Schrager reported that after that incident with the dancers, like, half the building, they were raising hands, voted, and like, let's get out of here.
Obviously Alex Smith is injured, and Ron Rivera owes it to the other guys on the team to put the best player out there to give them an opportunity to make it to the playoffs, because despite the fact that obviously Dwayne Haskins doesn't care about that, the rest of the guys do, and they deserve an opportunity to go to the postseason. So I think that's what it ended up coming down to. Now Taylor Heineke is going to get the start next week. But if I was Ron Rivera, there's no way he would see the field again. But I really think he weighed, well, I think Haskins is better than Heineke, and I owe it to the rest of the team to give us the best opportunity to win. That's what I think it came down to. But I'm not surprised by this at all. I would have not let him see the field.
I heard things a year ago from somebody that works at Fox. There were a lot of problems that he was not showing up on time, that he was leaving the building early. So this is one of these things where if you've been working in our business for long enough, you have enough sources. You were hearing stuff last year. Like, even in preseason, people were just saying, man, he's not as committed as you'd love a rookie to be. So, I don't think the ending here is shocking to people that are well connected in the NFL.
There's a lot of things that can be out of your control. You can go to an organization that's dysfunctional.
Yes.
You can lose players to injury.
Bad head
coaches
coach
can get fired. I mean, look at Deshaun Watson what he's had to deal with in his career. The things that are within your control, being on time, not going to parties during a global pandemic, things like that, you need to take care of. So the Chiefs held on to beat the Falcons in a close 17-14 game. Atlanta gave Kansas City's offense some problems, holding them to fewer than 20 points for the first time this season. The Falcons had a chance to send it to overtime, but Younghoe Koo missed a 39-yard field goal at the end of the game.
I'm not laughing. You know, this is, of course, what happened. That Atlanta outplayed them. Atlanta had a lead, lost it. Like Atlanta does, valiantly moved the ball down the field with a chance to tie it. And then it would have been any other team in the league after Kansas City scores 3 and out, 4 and out, game over. No, Atlanta drove all the way down the field to win the game and whiffed. That, of course, Atlanta did that.
This is, of course, what happened.
God.
I don't know. I honestly feel bad for Falcons fans. Like, how can you expect any other outcome at this? And every game.
I live in Los Angeles. Atlanta is the Chargers South.
Yeah.
This is what, like, at some point structurally in the organization, it's not a coincidence why Atlanta and the Chargers. Now, Chargers actually almost gave yesterday's game up. But this, when I was watching this game, I'm like, it wasn't just that Kansas City took the lead late. It was that Atlanta tortured its fans by the way, Matt Ryan hit 4 or 5 big throws up the side, and you're like, oh, they're going to win the game.
And he's a great kicker, too. It's wild. Well, the Chiefs clinched the top seed in the AFC with the win, and they will get the only bye in the conference. Patrick Mahomes was 24 of 44, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce had a big game. He set the record for the most receiving yards in a season by a tight end with 1,416, a record previously held by George Kittle. He also became the first tight end to have 2 100-catch.
Only team in the playoffs, we know exactly where they'll be. At home.
Everyone else is still up in the air. All right, so this was crazy yesterday. Obviously, it was a full day of NFL games with a lot of implications, but there's NBA basketball being played.
Yeah.
And without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers found themselves in a historically bad situation. They trailed the Mavs by 50 points at halftime.
What was the score? 77 to...
77-27 at the half.
I didn't watch the game. I saw highlights on YouTube. I saw the score at half, and I'm like, what is that?
It's a tragedy. It's the largest halftime deficit ever in the NBA. And it didn't get any better in the second half, obviously. They lost by 51 points, which just set a new franchise record. 124-73. Paul George said it's not that big of a deal. I'm off the Clippers this year. They made me a liar last year, so I'm off them. But
Landry Shamet and Montrezl Harrell are gone, so their bench is not as good. They don't have a true point guard.
I don't think they got better this offseason.
They didn't.
And I think it's I don't want to overreact to the beginning of the season, but to me, Kawhi Leonard is in a different category. He's separate. He's beyond reproach.
He's a great player.
He won a championship.
He's a great player.
He carried the Raptors and won a championship for the country of Canada. Like, he's in a separate situation.
Yeah, LeBron, Durant, Kawhi, Anthony Davis. There's no questioning them. They're great players.
I know what he can do in the playoffs. I've seen it for years. Paul George is the question mark on this team. I don't care about the money, whatever. Everybody has to get paid. Every team has to pay somebody. That's not the important part. You're number 2. You have to prove that you are that guy. You can't come out here and say it's not a big deal. It's a very big deal. It was historically bad. It is a big deal. It's okay to say that was horrible. We are taking responsibility for how bad it was. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Not just one game.
When Kawhi is missing, you are now the franchise player available. Like when Michael Jordan left, Scottie Pippen still took the Bulls to the playoffs and was a call away from the finals. Like, it mattered that Pippen validated his Robin.